Hey everyone, it's Dr. Tamati, and today we're going to go over our Shining 3D workflow. I'm going to be showing you guys just how easy it is to use, and also I'm going to cover Waxup things to do and what not to do. So this was a case that was sent to us by one of the dentists that uses our software, and I noticed the way that the Waxup was done left a little bit to be desired. So I'll show you guys why that happened and what we can do to fix it within our software and what we can do to prevent it in the future. So let's go ahead and just hit start a case here on our web page and hit Shining 3D Elite. And this was a single arch case, so we're going to just click single arch. And I'm going to show you guys what came with the folder. This is all of the files that come with the Shining, and it's a lot of files. It's really confusing, but our software makes it really simple. So you can just go ahead and select all of them and basically just drag and drop it into our asset window right here. And you'll notice everything gets automatically labeled, and we're doing a lower arch in this case. So we click that and then click auto place for files. And that's pretty much it. After that, all you need to do is put your Waxup in here. So let's look for that, and you can kind of click on all of these and see what came with it. This here looks like the Waxup, so let's put that right there. And what I see right away is that the Waxup is not aligned with the pre-op jaw scan. So we're going to be using this function right here, the align Waxup to jaw scan. So let's go ahead and click that. And when you do that, you'll see what you need to ask your designer for. So we're going to ask him to send us the Waxup and the pre-op jaw scan together. So the dentist did take care of that, and that file is going to be right over here. We drag and drop that in and we hit continue. Now you're going to get to a couple of really easy alignment steps. The first one is going to be that STL that the designer sent. That's going to be the Waxup and the pre-op jaw scan together. I'm just going to select 4 points on both of them. On the bottom, I'm selecting, it looks like the lingual tori plus 2 of the teeth. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on the pre-op jaw scan. That's going to be right there, and here's number 3 and number 4. There we go. Let's hit apply, and this should be really quick now. We can see the alignment, lots of green where the pre-op jaw scan is, so this is a good alignment. I'm going to hit confirm, and our next step is to align the Waxup. So we can just do the occlusal surfaces right here. There we go. And there's another one right over here, 3 and 4. And we'll hit apply. Okay, it's all green as expected. This looks good. And let's hit confirm. Now you'll see everything is nice and aligned. So I had kind of mentioned in the beginning of this video about ideal Waxups. So let's kind of evaluate this. What I see is this Waxup has this really large kind of ridge. It's like a buccal flange almost on the buccal right here. This is not going to be useful for us whatsoever. In fact, it's going to make the post-conversion process take a little bit longer than it should. So if you're using RapidArch or any other software, this is definitely going to slow you down after surgery. The other thing I see is that the Waxup itself is really thin. You can see over here, this is just super thin in this area. So we're going to discuss how to fix that within RapidArch. So for now, let's do our intaglio option. It's going to be raised. I'm just looking at the tissue scan right here, and I'm assuming this restoration will not be delivered with the flap open. So we're going to raise the intaglio, and we're going to select our screw type. And with RapidArch and Shining, we have the BH mushroom validated, and you can locate it right over here within your Shining software. So let's select that, and we'll hit convert. And at this point, it should be super quick. Okay, so just about 13 seconds, but now we're gonna run into this issue that I expected because the Waxup was really thin. Since the Waxup was so thin, the software, any software, doesn't know how to connect that Waxup to the multi-unit abutments. So we're gonna have to fix that. And our software gives you this warning right here, and it tells you to go into Edit Waxup and then click Reconvert. So let's confirm, and I'm gonna close the Inputs tab right up here. And let's go into Edit Waxup. And let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna take a look at things from the intaglio, and I'm gonna hit the Add button here. We're gonna increase the radius all the way. We can also increase the strength so this goes by a little bit more quickly. And let's just go ahead and we're gonna cover up all of those pink rings. And once we have them covered up, we should be all good to go. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I like to do this before surgery is done, like before the surgery day, because I don't want to be spending any time doing this after surgery. And if I'm using a designer, I also don't want my designer to be wasting their time doing this after surgery, because the patient is waiting, the numbing is wearing off, and I just want to get this restoration delivered as quickly as possible and to get the patient home. So if I have to spend time doing this, it's a big waste of time on surgery day. Now, if you use Rapid Waxup, which is part of our software suite, and you can find it right over here, you can see Rapid Waxup, you're not going to end up with issues like this ever. The Waxup itself will be thick enough. All right, let's see what else we can adjust while we're here. We have our tissue scan, and we see that buccal flange is really getting in our way over here. So let's go ahead and click the smooth button, and we can just smooth that down and kind of get rid of that flange. Okay, let's get rid of all of that. We don't need any of this. I'm going to decrease the strength a little bit so I'm not starting to cut into the teeth or anything like that. We're just going to slowly smooth everything down. All right, so this should be kind of good enough. From here, we can always edit the result, but let me just go ahead and do a little bit more. I'm just editing everything. All of this in the back is not necessary. Okay, let's go ahead and click on Reconvert now that we have our Waxup edited. Okay, good. So let's take a look now. We don't have that warning anymore about the MUAs being exposed. So this is looking a little bit better for me. I think we can smooth things out a little bit more. Once again, that buccal flange is just getting in our way, so we don't want that. But let's take a look at the tissue scan. And one of the things I notice is that there's a significant amount of overlap between the multi-unit abutment platform and where the soft tissue is. And if you try to deliver something like this, it's really going to hurt the patient. I don't think it's possible to deliver this. So you have a couple of options here. The first thing you can do is you can go into Sculpt Result here on the left side. And what we can do is an automatic intaglio adjustment. So what this does for you is you can select the amount of tissue pressure you want to have. So let's say we don't want the intaglio to be putting any tissue pressure on the patient. We're just going to go down to 0 pressure. And you can click automatic intaglio adjustment. But I'm telling you guys, if you have to, if a lot of material has to be moved down, it's going to start warping things in a manner that doesn't look too nice, and you have to spend a little bit more time smoothing it. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's go ahead and do that. I just click the automatic intaglio adjustment button, and we'll just give it a few seconds to go. So now when you go and deliver this to the patient, it's going to feel a little bit better for them. But unfortunately, the issue is since so much material had to be moved that things start to kind of warp and look a little bit ugly. You can spend time smoothing it, but I'll show you guys a better way to do this. And so let's hit undo and we'll cancel. So another thing you can do is rather than doing that, you can just go into the flared ring height over here. And you can reconvert your restoration with different multi-unit abutment heights. So, different heights from the multi-unit abutment platform to the intaglio of your restoration. So in this case, with this much tissue pressure, I'm just going to go for our tallest ring height, and let's see what that looks like. So we're just reconverting here. Okay, there we go. Another 15, 16 seconds. So this looks way cleaner for me. And let's take a look at the tissue scan. Let's open that up. Okay, this looks like it's going to be way more comfortable for the patient, so you can deliver this right away and they're hardly going to feel a thing. If you want, you can even reconvert it with a 4.5 millimeter height, and I think that should be okay for the patient as well, because over here I see a little bit of a gap, but elsewhere looks pretty decent actually. I'm happy with this result. The only thing is there is kind of a shelf that's over here. So again, you want to ask your designer when they're doing the Waxup to study the pre-surgical mesh, and they want to just bring everything back a little bit more because they need to be anticipating some alveoplasty and this buccal bone moving more posteriorly. If we want, we can just fix that. We can go into sculpt result and we can just go to smooth and we can smooth that down like so. You can even do push pull and you're just gonna pull on that. I'm gonna just pull that back, pull it back, something like that. But again, this is, I'm spending time doing this after surgery and I don't want to be spending that time doing that. So just pull that back. So this should be more than acceptable for the patient. Just hit done. And there you have it. Here's the restoration with the Shining 3D. It makes things very, very quick and easy to do since everything is pre-aligned for us. And over here, we can always smooth that down a little bit more. But there we have it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out to us. Thank you.